Hello my friend, how are you today? At the time this video airs, we will be 3 days away from Christmas. I hope you have gotten all of your Christmas shopping done and you are looking forward to enjoying your time with family. But in this video, I have some winter DIY inspiration for you, and this is what would you make the month of December. We have our special guest host as Loli from Loli D's Creation, and of course I host this playlist with my friend Brenda from Rustic and Lace DIY. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Oh, and by the way, I wish you and your family a Merry Christmas when it comes, and a very prosperous 2025. Thank you so much for sticking around with me throughout this year, and I'll catch you in the next year. So let's get crafting. So our first inspiration, I got this rice paper decal from My Victorian Heart when I purchased an IOD set from them earlier this year when they had this summer release. This stretch canvas is 12 by 9.5 that came from a set of 3, and I'll be using this with the rice paper decal. So I took my X-Acto knife and I'm just cutting away the canvas. Now you can use something to remove the staples. Sometimes I do that, sometimes I just cut away. And we'll be doing reverse canvas. And this is the frame. Look at how beautiful that is. I had picked up these canvases from Ollie's. I like to purchase my canvases there. You always get a good deal. So as you saw, I used my scissors to trim away the edge from around the rice paper. And I'm going to mix my paint to paint the frame. I used some Waverly chalk paint in Ocean and Folk Art multi-surface paint in Satin. My intention is to try and blend the paint so I can get it as close as possible to look like the shade on the rice paper. There it is. I'm trying to match it, and I blended as much as I could. And I also added a little black because it was looking a little too plain, and I wanted the black to just bring that depth. And then once I mixed to the extent to which I wanted it, I took a small paintbrush and just went around the frame. And then I took a sponge with some water on that and just used that to blend in and to remove the excess, or just to blend it and spread it as much. Not making it too pigmented, but just the blend enough where I can get that match with the rice paper. And once that was done, I dried it, and then it still looked a little too dark, so I had to go back in with a little bit more of the multi-purpose satin, and then just kind of spritz it to give it the appearance of stars, or just lightly spotting it. Now that's done and dried, I use some Mod Podge to go over the surface because I want to do this first before I start doing anything else. Now I set that aside to dry some more, and here I am working on the rice paper and the canvas. So I placed it on the canvas just to measure to see how I needed to put that down, and now I'm using some Mod Podge, applying that with a brush, spreading it until it became very tacky. And then I placed the rice paper on top of that, and as you see there, I did not put the paper down evenly because one side had more on the sides than one side had more than the other side. But that is an easy fix. We're going to deal with that at the end. And once I spread that, placed it down, used my finger to just smooth everything out, and then I took the brayer and went over that a little bit more. Then I placed the parchment paper over that and applied some heat to secure it even more. Next, I'm going to place the frame over it just to measure to see where it fits. And as you can see, a little part of the canvas on both sides was still showing, so I mixed a little bit more paint and just cover that with some of the blue paint there, or the blue mixture, so that when I place the frame over it, it's not showing as white. and then place the frame again, and then line that up properly and use my pencil to just indicate where I needed to cut off the excess. And once I cut the excess off, place the frame back over that, then flipped it over, and I'm going to use some wood glue as well as some hot glue to glue that on. And I place the wood glue and the hot glue closer to the inside of the frame because I'm going to be turning under the canvas when I flip it over. So there I'm cutting off the excess because you don't want too much on there when you start to turn it under. There I'm just turning under, and this was about 1/4 of an inch space remaining, and I did that using the hot glue to hold it down and went all the way around until I was done. And now that is done, I just remembered that I needed to apply some Mod Podge to the rice paper because now it's glued onto the canvas. I want to put some finishing touches on it, so I just applied the Mod Podge and used the heat gun to seal that. Now it's time for embellishment. Now this ribbon I had, this is all that I have, but this ribbon is so pretty. So here I'm making a bow. I just fold it in, make an awareness bow, scrunch it in the middle and use a piece of jute cord to just secure that, and then dovetail the end. I actually cut off a little piece because it was too long. Now my ribbon is done. I took a smaller piece, fold in the edges and glue that over where the jute cord is to hide that. Now my bow is done. I set that aside, and now for further embellishment. Isn't this pretty? I love it. Now here I am using some greenery that came from a pick that I've been using all Christmas. Well, not all Christmas. I've been using it since last year. Glue down those and then glue the bow on top of it. Didn't want to put too much greenery on there. I just put enough, and this piece that I used was perfect. And then I got these little pine cones. I've been using these. I got these from a park 2 years ago, and I've been using them every year. I just glued one right in the center there, and that takes care of the bow at the top. Now for embellishing the bottom of our frame. This little Christmas tree came from a pack that I picked up at Michael's last year. I glued that down, and then to add some faux snow. I'm using this polyfill from something I had. I don't even remember where I got it from, but I'm using that. And then I still had another little pine cone. I glued that right beside my Christmas tree. And then I looked at it and it still needed to pop a little bit more. So I found some little berries, glued that on the pine cone at the top. And then I realized, Christine, you should have done all of your embellishment on the other side to give it even more balance. So I had another pine cone, glued that in, glue down some more snow, and that takes care of that. Now, like I mentioned before, this is What Would You Make, a monthly playlist where we use anything wood. And this month we have our guest host Loli D from Loli D's Creation and Brenda from Rustic and Lace, host with myself. I will leave links to all of our channels down in the description box below, as well as the playlist. Make sure to check the playlist out as well as the channels for lots of wood inspiration. So here I'm just trying to figure out, should I add anything else? Does it look okay with what is already there? Guys, let me know what you think. If it's okay as is, or I should have added something else. Now for inspiration number 2, this is a 12-inch wood round, and I'm going to paint that. Try to blend the paint. So here I'm using the same ocean as well as wicker white and I'm trying to get an ombre effect, just spreading the paint, mixing as I go along, and where it was too heavy I just spread it a little bit more with the damp brush. And then to spread even a little bit more, I went again with the wet sponge and just spread that. I didn't want it too dark nor too light, just right. Now this is my preference. You can do it how you want to do it. Now that's dry. Here is a Let It Snow stencil. I think I purchased this from Temu when I was buying stuff from Temu, and I'm using that. It's the perfect size as the board. I'm just adding a little Mod Podge to the surface, and this helps to prevent bleeding from your paint. And when that dried, now I'm sponging in the paint, just gently sponging that in. Is this your first time here? Welcome. Thank you for clicking on that thumbnail and coming in to enjoy the fun. Be sure to subscribe before you leave, and make sure to hit that notification bell so you're notified whenever I upload new content. After that was done, this is what it looks like. And as usual, where the letters connect on the stencil, I don't like to see that on my finished work, so I just took a small paintbrush and covered those spaces. Now that is dry, it's time to move on to the next step. So I found this piece of braided rope in my stash. It's the last of it. I also purchased this from Temu, and it was a perfect length. It was maybe about 2 inches shy of going all the way around the board, but nevertheless it was perfect. So here I just took some hot glue, placed it on the edge of the board, and went right around until I got to the top. Then I took the lighter and just burned off the fuzzies, because you know we don't want those on there. And now it's time to embellish. It seems like I'm just using up what I have in this video because this ribbon is all that I have, so I'm gonna make it work. So here I'm trying to make a bow. So I measured the amount that I needed for the tail, cut that off, dovetail the ends, singe it with the lighter, and then I'm going to use the rest of it now to make the bow. Now it wasn't enough, so here I am using another ribbon to add that to the back so I don't have to fold it. And yeah, I'm just making it work, guys. This is a perfect craft your stash video because everything I'm using I already had in my stash. And then after I cut that off, I glued it on, and then to cover the edges, I just flip that or turn it inside out and turn the ends in, glue them down, and then just gather up the middle, wrap that with a piece of the jute cord, and then for the hanger I took another piece of leftover lace ribbon that I have. So there I just measured the distance or the length of how I wanted it to hang, cut that and glue that on. So it's embellishment time. Here's my bow, but before I glue the bow on, I am going to add some Mod Podge. So I took this brush. I got this brush from Plaid. I haven't used it in ages. And I'm going to use that to apply my Mod Podge, only because the brush is so wide and it would cover a lot of the area in less time. So now I took my bow and my tails and this mistletoe pick. Yes, that's what it is. It's mistletoe pick that I got from, I believe I got this from Walmart. I've been using this for years. And I just cut off 2 pieces, made a swag, and glued that in the middle with lots of hot glue. And I realized off camera that it needed to be even sturdier, so I just used the heavy duty staple gun to staple that down. Then I glued on the tails, and then glued on the bow on top of the tails and just tack it down a little bit. And because, oh yes, I must say that little piece in the middle was what was left off from the bow in the first DIY, so it fit perfectly right there. This needed a little bit more greenery, so I just cut off 2 little pieces, glue them under the bow, fluff the bow a little bit. And here I'm trying to decide, do I add my snowflake, do I add the little pine cones? And I settled on adding the pine cones. Now let me tell you a little bit about Creative Fabrica. They are offering a trial period for free. You can download as many of their graphics as possible. Try it for 30 days free. You can cancel anytime. All you would need to do is just click on that link that says, try it for free, enter your information, and then activate. I'm not going to do that because I already did it already. So mine is already activated, but this is how you would sign up. And guys, it's free. As many graphics and fonts that you would like, now is the time to sign up and grab them during the trial period. So I will leave the link in my description box below. They reached out to me and asked me if I could promote this offer, and here I am doing that for you. Now click that link below and that will take you to the website, and you can sign up and download all of the graphics that you need for free. And when you sign up, you get instant access to 9.5 million plus beautiful fonts and graphics. And you also, if you choose to keep the account, it's just $9 per month or $47 for the year. Whenever I am on the website, I always get lost because there is just so much graphics to go through. And you can cancel anytime. So if after the 30 days and you don't want this anymore, you can cancel. All right, so check it out, guys. The link is in my description box below. You can check that out. So for this one is so easy. Well, this is more of putting together different things to make a little snowscape, if that is a word. But anyway, this little snowman is made of foam. It came from a snowman kit. I was working with some students at work and we were putting them together, and I decided to try this out. Isn't he cute? I love him, but his hat keeps falling off, so I'm gonna hot glue that onto his head. It will fall off no more. But I just love how cute he is. But anyway, here are the things that I'm going to be using for this little snowscape or snow village. This plank came from Michael's, and I'm gonna need 2 tumbling tower blocks, a small Christmas tree that came from a pack from Dollar Tree, a pine cone. This half of a snowman came from Woodpecker's Craft. I will link my link for Woodpecker's Craft is in my description box below. And this little snowman came from a pack from the Dollar Tree. That snowflake also came from Woodpecker's Craft. So I glued on the 2 tumbling tower block to my wood plank, and I'm going to paint that. Also paint the snowman and the snowflake with some folk art wicker white. Now that's painted. This is what it looks like. So now I took my black paint pen and I am painting in the hat for the snowman. Did that for both of them. And now I'm going to use a little pen to put the face onto the baby snowman. Just colored in his eyes, gave him a little smiley mouth. And I did the same thing for the bigger snowman. We're gonna call him Daddy, but I use a bigger Sharpie for that. And then the Sharpie wasn't bright enough. I went back with the paint pen and gave him a little swirly mouth. and I use the orange paint pen to give him a carrot nose. This piece of flannel came from a little scarf. Don't throw these things out, my dear friends. They come in very handy. So I just cut a little piece off, and that's going to be his scarf. Wrap that around his neck, and then just well, I added his buttons. Yes, added his buttons, and I'm going to cut a smaller piece of the scarf for the baby snowman. Did that, wrap that around his neck, and here I'm just giving them some finishing touches, putting a little sparkle in the eyes, and they are done, my friends. I love my little snow daddy and son. They are so cute. You can't tell me that they're not cute. Anyway, so now I am going to take my Christmas tree and some puffy paint, and I'm going to add some snow to the tree. Now you have to leave this to dry properly. So after I added the snow to the tree, I placed that aside, and now I'm just laying them out as to how I will be gluing them down. The bigger snowman, I kind of put him to the front, and then the tree, and then the daddy, and then the son. You'll see how I lay them all out after I glue them down. So if you have been enjoying my content from January to now and you have not yet subscribed, girl, what are you waiting for? Or guy, what are you waiting for? Now would be the perfect time to do so before you leave. And make sure to hit that notification bell so you're notified whenever I upload new videos. So here they are, all cute, but I'm not done yet. So I'm going to add some snow. So I took some Mod Podge and a fan brush and just place the Mod Podge right around the open space on the ground, because this is the ground. And then added some faux snow. This faux snow came from the Dollar Tree. And I added as much Mod Podge as possible that would keep the snow. And then once I had enough, I just used the silicone spatula and just pressed that in, and this little snow village is done. Yes, I dusted off the excess and then went back over it. So here we are for the final reveal. Oh my, I love these winter DIYs so much. Guys, let me know which one of these was your favorite. I am biased. They're all my favorite, but that's just me. So let me know which one was yours. Don't forget to check out Brenda's channel, Loli's channel, as well as the playlist. You will be inspired. Did you hit that like button yet? Do so now before you go. When you engage with the video by liking, commenting, saving, sharing, and subscribing, it signals to the YouTube algorithm that you enjoy the content, and they will promote it to other viewers like yourself. Thank you again for supporting my channel throughout 2024. I will have another video before the year ends, but guys, please enjoy your Christmas and be safe, and I will catch you again in my next one. If you love budget-friendly content like this one and you would like to see more, watch this video right here or this playlist, and stay safe, my friends. Remember, Jesus loves you, and this is the reason for the season.